It's time for Manchester United to carry on the momentum from the Anfield victory last weekend and see if we can do the impossible. We hadn't won back-to-back games. Now we're going to see if we can do a three-peat. And that long-awaited back-to-back victories finally came to an end with a victory over Liverpool at Anfield, no less, last weekend, meaning Ruben Amorim has now gone and been the first manager in the last 5 years to get victories at Anfield and the Etihad. So he's got to be doing something right, I guess, hasn't he? Now, we have to make it 3 because there's no point in winning back-to-back games if you then lose the game on the other side because it's still the same thing. It's still heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails, tails, heads, isn't it? You know, you have to start building some consistency, and that comes with winning the 3rd game. Now, our away form has been very, very poor prior to beating Liverpool. So it's quite nice for us to get back on home turf to try and put this elusive, impossible 3rd victory on the spin. Now, I think it's probably United's biggest win. Maybe not the one that felt as monumental, because I think Lyon, there was something about the last-minute nature and carnage of that Lyon victory, which probably still feels like the highest point that we got to under Ruben Amorim. But that's in the mix. Winning there, in the circumstances and everything that's been going on, I think that's in the mix. And I think that more so than the Lyon game because it was done with some tactics and some deliberate tactics as well. So take nothing away from that. You know, the game management paid off, the tactics paid off. I think coming up now against Brighton, there is an expectation we put them to the sword. We are carrying no new injuries in the squad. Lisandro Martinez's return edge is even closer. Brighton will be without Webster, Solly March, Hinshelwood, Veltman, Mitoma, and Gruda look like they could be returning to action. There's some talk that Diego Gomez could miss the game after leaving the Newcastle game early due to a knock. Now, in their last 5 league games, they've won 2, beating Newcastle and Chelsea no less, lost 1 to Bournemouth and drawn with Tottenham and Wolves. So it's very difficult to tell what we're going to get when it comes to Brighton. But the big question will remain, how is Amorim now going to adapt the squad to the challenge that Brighton present? In some cases, it's easier to try and play off the back foot and thrive off being a counter-attacking side. When the expectation flips and you're expected to maybe take the ball a little bit and put it on a team, that's when you find out what you've got going on. Now, how do they play? Well, Herzl has now been in charge for 50 plus games at Brighton, and he is pretty rigid in sticking to the 4-2-3-1. He likes to have possession in build-up. They average around about 55% possession. They're very fluid when it comes to progressing the ball forward. They like to use overloads, and they focus on controlling the tempo. They know when to go vertical, they know when to go sideways, and they have flexibility within that, and that's quite an impressive trait in terms of what they do. They have good decision-making of when to go direct and when to maybe keep hold of it. The verticality of their play has caused big problems for plenty of teams because the likes of Lewis Dunk can find gaps positionally from deep. And all it takes can be that to ignite a Brighton attack. And United have been carved open by Brighton at home in recent years as well. So you got to mind your P's and Q's with them. They tend to build up quite patiently with control, and it usually is Dunk and Van Heck that are going to do that. They'll funnel it wide through the fullbacks, and then they'll switch it to the wingers, where it's Minty and Mitoma, who are, if he's fit, absolute bleeding nightmare to deal with. The number 10 will be Rutter or Gomez, and they're going to get tasked with linking the play. And it's Danny Welbeck, of all people, he's in fire this year, who are going to get into the half space, create overloads, and look for cutbacks and through balls and stuff like that. They are simple, but they do the basics fantastically well. And I would also say Herzl's game management has been really good since joining Brighton. He can change a game. He can see a game out. He doesn't mind making substitutions early. And Brighton are capable of turning the heat up in games. They've got players that that can make an impact in transition, that can change the tempo, that can raise the tempo. And some of their recent wins really highlight that sort of explosive second half, quite often triggered by the quadruple subs that he does around about the hour mark, where he's going to bring on some pace and some energy. So you can't just go into this game thinking about the first half and how you're going to win the first half. I think you always have to go and look at how you're not going to lose a game. But once you've established that you're not going to lose the game, can you move on and go to and get the win? With Brighton and with Hurzeler, you have to think about what happens when we take the lead. What are they going to do then? Because they will change something. Now, when you try and stick it on them, that relentless attack that they've got, the midfield pivot that's been so good for them in recent years is usually handled by Carlos Baleba. Now, he has not started the season looking good at all. Recovery is entirely possible, but a slump in form, if it continues tomorrow, could be fantastic for us as well. He has dramatically fell off in terms of how effective he's been. Now, Brighton do adapt quite fluidly to the opposition, and I would expect that sort of high line, because they're going to want to hold possession, and that's where Manchester United can hurt them. They are a stable side. They are a side that has a lot of strengths, but they are far from unbeatable. They've conceded virtually as many as they score, and that bodes well for Manchester United at the moment. In terms of star man, it's Danny Welbeck. I can't believe in 2025 I'm sitting here talking about that guy. But he's in fantastic form. 2 goals against Newcastle. 34, he's still an extremely versatile, durable, balanced. Listen, if he's looking for a move at the end of the season, I would 1,000,000% bring him in to be the backup striker at Manchester United. He offers something totally different. He can hold it up. He's very physical. He links play real nice. And if you need to give Sesko a night off, this is a Premier League proven striker that knows the club, and I think he'd be phenomenal if we could bring him in. But anyway, that's not the case for tomorrow. We got to watch him because he does have a habit of finding the back of the net. Think about how much of your personal life is online right now. It is scary. Every takeaway order, every banking login, every late night Google search, it's all data. And with the rise of UK phishing scams and fake websites, all it takes is one wrong click and your details end up in the wrong hands. And that's where Surfshark VPN comes in, sponsor of today's video, and a tool that I use every single day, every time I am online. Surfshark protects your data with powerful encryption. It hides your location and even alerts you if your personal information has been leaked in a data breach. And here's the best part. New users are going to get 4 months extra for free when you go to surfshark.com/Howson or use my code Howson, that's Howson. But it's not just a VPN, it's a whole security suite. They've got Surfshark alerts to notify you instantly if your details appear in a leaked database. They've got Surfshark antivirus to keep your devices clean from malware. They've got bypasser and split tunneling so you can control which apps use the VPN. Sometimes banking apps aren't going to let you, or they'll detect that you're using the VPN and won't let you. They've got unlimited devices which are going to be covered under one plan, so no compromises. Whether you're streaming, your midweek fixtures, you're shopping online, or you're scrolling on public Wi-Fi, Surfshark makes sure you are safe, private, and in control. Stay secure before it's too late. Go to surfshark.com/Howson or use the code Howson, that's Howson, and get 4 months extra free today. Now, my United 11 that I was going for in this one, lamenting net for obvious reasons. I'm going with a back 3 of Yoro, De Ligt, and Mazraoui. I think the reasons for that, I think Mazraoui's one of our better players. So I would always want to try and get our better players in. I think until Martinez is fit, that's our best back 3. Now, yes, I'm aware Maguire scored, but we're going to have such a higher line against Brighton. I don't think you want to be playing him. You've got to have Lenny Yoro in the mix for this one. I think there's a good chance that he plays Luke Shaw, in which case Mazraoui probably doesn't feature. But I would go relatively offensive against these. And that means Ahmad, right wing back. His link up with Mbeumo is getting better every week. I would go with Dorgu on the left. I would go with Bruno alongside Ugarte. I think you're going to need someone with a little bit of bite in midfield. I think Casemiro would be a great idea, but also Ugarte wouldn't be a bad one either. Mbeumo, Cunha, who've been brilliant behind Sesko. I think Sesko will be very, very useful in this game. United should look to try and disrupt their build-up play, because we've got that forward three that will be given the task to press and press narrow. If you can take the ball off them there, which United have been very good at doing this season, there's a very high potential for Manchester United to take the ball off their defence and get an early shot off. I would look for that. I think that's something that's going to happen. We are also sort of evolving into quite a high-energy counter-attacking side as well, as proven at times. It didn't necessarily get a goal from it, but proven at times last week against Liverpool, because of the pace that we have in the forward line, because of the carrying that you get through the centre from the likes of Cunha. I think Sesko plays in this game, and I think Mbeumo plays in this game. I think there's lots of opportunities to get in behind this Brighton defence. If you can get in behind Duncan van Hecke early, which you absolutely can do, you're going to be playing 2v1, and that favours the attacker. So you've got to target the high line with direct balls into Sesko, into Mbeumo. Bruno switching it for either Diallo or for Dorgu on the other side will create tons of overlaps. And I think it's just essential to have someone like an Ugarte that and legs of our own, by the way, because I think at times this game is likely to end up going quite backwards and forwards. I think that United can get something out of this. A clean sheet would be like manna from heaven in this, not least because there's a video that I really want to get done about Laments, and I would like him to have a clean sheet to be able to do that, because the stats have been fantastic for him, but I need him to make 4 more saves before I can make the video. And a clean sheet would be fantastic for that, because Brighton are going to get shots, right? There's a good chance he makes 4 saves against Brighton. But I think there's a real opportunity for United to get this here. And then you go and facing Sean Dyche's Forest, and honestly, they could be a nightmare to play. So let's go and get the win. Let's go and get the win here tomorrow. An early lead against these will do wonders for our confidence and our chances. You unsettle them early, force Hurzeler to make the changes that he will definitely make, and the game will open up even more. And the likes of Mbeumo, Diallo, Dorgu, United can bring on the likes of Mount a little bit later on in the game to inject a little bit of pace ourselves. I think United could really get something out of these here, but it relies on starting well and starting early. But that's the 11 I want to see. Please let me know if you agree or disagree. And here's what I'm going to do. I want first goal, time and scorer and correct score. Nearest the pin. If you get one of those correct, I will sort out a Stretford Paddock FC shirt for the winner. So comment, I want the time. So, 34, Sesko, United, 2-0. Get it on the nose. No edited comments allowed. And have to get it exact. Only picking one, because I'm not giving away 50 shirts a week. We ain't got any to do that. So I'm going to do that at least for a few weeks. How's that sound? Sound like a plan? If you're a mental size that we don't have, you'll have to wait for us to order you one. But if you're a regular size, we do have a few in stock. So these have all gone out now to everyone that bought one. The remainder will be going on sale. But if you would like to win one, comment your first goal scorer, time and score. You get it right, you could win a Paddock FC shirt. So cheers for tuning in. If you're new around these parts, make sure to subscribe. Yeah. It helps. And give the video a like. Otherwise, I'll see you after the game. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.